Good morning, boys and girls. Today we're on page 19 of your student journal, page 19. And our objective today is I will subtract by using the draw a picture, and you might have to squish it, draw a picture strategy and relate it to a written method. Okay, I apologize if you had to squish it like I did. Okay, it says, today I will subtract by using the draw a picture strategy and relate it to a written method. So when they talk about draw a picture strategy, that's when we're going to be using our base 10 blocks. Okay, and then when we relate it to a written method, we're going to look at something called working form. Okay, so that's what we're going to be doing. All right, let's look at our vocabulary today. And they're just reminding us that difference means the solution to a subtraction problem. So the solution also means the answer to a subtraction problem. And then here they're reminding us of our vocabulary for subtraction. Our minuend is what we start with. Our subtrahend is what we subtract, and our difference is our answer or solution. And then they're giving us an example here. So in the place value chart, we start by drawing our minuend. So they drew 2 hundreds, 1, 2. They drew 5 tens, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and they drew 3 ones. And then what they did is they subtracted. So when you subtract, and you'll hear me say this many times, we always start with our ones column. So they subtracted 1, 1, and that left them with only 2. They subtracted 2 tens, 1, 2, and then they left them with 1, 2, 3 tens, which is 100. And then they subtracted one of the hundreds away right here, which left them with only 100. So they had 132 as their difference. So this is them showing you a great example, okay? Remember, expanded form is when the number is stretched out, and then standard form is when it's squished back together. So 132 separated is called expanded, but standard is when we just write it regular or normal, I like to think of. And then written method, sometimes called working method, this is how we write out it more without the pictures. This is not using any visuals. So we still have the same minuend, and we still have the same subtrahend, and then we have our solution or our difference. Okay, so let's look at our steps here. It says we're going to decompose the minuend and draw it on the place value chart. Then we're going to subtract the subtrahend starting with the ones. Boys and girls, that's really important. When we subtract and add, we always start with the ones column. Then we're going to do the tens and then the hundreds. And then we're going to count the ones, tens, and hundreds. So we're going to see what's left. We're going to write it in expanded form and then change it into standard form. And then we're going to write it into working form. Okay, so I'm going to show you these steps and what these look like. I'm going to get my red pen if you want to set yours down for a second. Okay, and here is my first problem. Okay, my first problem is 432 subtract 211. Okay, so remember, I like to always look at what are my place values. So I have ones, tens, hundreds. And if it's really squished to write it there, I could have rewritten it larger. I could have said, this is what I have. But I always want to write my place values on top. Okay, so when I draw it, it doesn't matter which I draw first. So I have 4 hundreds, so I can draw those. 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 3 tens, 1, 2, 3, and I have 2 ones. 1, 2. Okay, that was step 1. Now step 2 says I'm going to subtract the subtrahend starting with the ones. So I could write in here ones, tens, hundreds, or if my equation is too small, I could write it larger so I have some more room to work with. So I always have to start with the ones column first. So what do they want me to subtract? It says take away 1, 1. I took it away. Take away 1, 10. take away 200s. 1, 2. So I subtracted what they wanted me to, starting with the ones. Okay, what do I have left then? What do I have left? I have 1 1 left. 1 1 left. So 1 1 is just worth 1. I have 2 10s left, which is 2 10s is 20. And I have 1 200s left, which is worth 200. So this is in expanded form, 221, and in standard form, it is 221. So that is my difference. That would be my solution or my answer or my difference. Okay, what does this look like in working form though? In working form, my minuend was 432. My subtrahend is 211. And when you do working form, it's really, really important that you keep your place values lined up. So do you see how my ones are lined up really nicely and my tens are lined up and my hundreds? It's really important that you have everything in this nice line. So I should be able to draw straight lines straight down. Everything has to be really lined up neatly, otherwise you'll make silly mistakes. Okay, so, oh, and look at my silly mistake. I put an addition sign. It's a subtraction sign. So I had the 2 ones, and when I took 1 away, I had only 1 left. I had the 3 10s, and when I took 1 away, or subtracted 1, I had how many left? 2 10s. But I'm just going to write 2 for the 2 10s, not the 20. And I had 400s. I took 2 of them away, and how many were left? 2. So this is called working form. Okay, let's look at another one of these. Okay, here's my next problem. 372 take away or subtract 241. Okay, so I'm going to write it a little larger so I have room to make my place values on top. So ones, tens, hundreds, ones, tens, hundreds. Okay, so step 1 says draw my minuend, draw what I have. So I have 3 hundreds, 1, 2, 3. I have 7 10 rods, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And I have 2 ones, 1, 2. Okay, ready? When I subtract, I always start with the ones. They want me to take, says subtract 1 1. Subtract 4 10s, 1, 2, 3, 4. Subtract 2 hundreds. Okay, so what do I have left? I have 1 1 left, plus I have 1, 2, 3 10s left, which 3 10s is 30, plus I have 100 left. So this is expanded form, and if I put this in standard form, I have 131. So my difference, or my solution, or my answer is 131. In working form, I set up my minuend, and I line up my subtrahend right under it. I make sure my place values are perfectly lined up. So lined up that I could draw a line straight down. And then what happened? I had 2 ones, and when I took 1 away, I took 1 away, I had 1 left. I had 7 10s, I took 4 away, and how many were left? 3. I had 3 hundreds, I took 2 away, and I only had 1 left. So my difference was 131. Okay, let's do a couple of these together, boys and girls. We are on page 20. Here's our first problem. Our first problem says 361 take away 250 or subtract 250. If you want to write it larger like I do, so you have more room to put your place values on top, that might work. Ones, tens, hundreds, ones, tens, hundreds. Okay, so we're going to draw our minuend. So I have 3 hundreds. I have 6 10 rods. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I have 1 1. Okay, that's our minuend. That's what we have. Now what they want us to do is subtract our subtrahend. So they want us to always start with the ones column, remember? They want us to take away 0 ones. Okay, let's not take any away. They want us to take away or subtract 5 tens. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They want us to subtract 2 hundreds. Okay, so we subtracted our subtrahend, and what do we have left? We have 1 1 left. We have 1 10 left, so 1 10 is worth 10, and we have 100 left, which is worth 100. So in expanded form, we have 100 plus 10 plus 1. Now when we squish that back to standard form, 10 and 1 make 11, so we have 111. This is what we have in standard form. So our difference is 111. Now in working form, what does this look like? Working form, we set up our minuend, and then we carefully put our subtrahend right under it, keeping our place values lined up. So my ones column's lined up, my tens are lined up, and my hundreds are lined up. And we always start on the ones column. So we had 1 1, we didn't take any away, and we still have 1. We had 6 tens, we took away 5, and we only have 1 of them left. We had 3 hundreds, we took away 2 or subtracted 2, and we have 1 left. So this is what working form looks like. Okay, let's look at our next one. Okay, again, I'm going to write it a little larger so I can write my place values on top. You don't need to do that if it works better for you not to. But my place values are ones, tens, hundreds. Ones, tens, hundreds. Okay, so we're going to start by drawing what we have. We're going to draw our minuend. So I have 5 hundreds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have 5 tens. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I have 8 ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, now we're going to subtract our subtrahend, always starting with the ones column. Okay, so we're going to subtract 7 ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We're going to subtract 3 tens. 1, 2, 3. We're going to subtract 100. So we subtracted our subtrahend. What do we have left? We only have 1 1 left. We have 2 tens left. 2 tens is worth 20. And how many hundreds do we have left? 1, 2, 3, 4. And 4 hundreds is worth 400. Okay, so this is what we call expanded form, but we can put this in working form. So we can say we have 421, and I'm sorry I had to squish it there. So our difference, or our solution, or our answer is 421. Okay, in working form, I write my minuend first. Then I carefully line up my subtrahend. So my ones column's lined up, my tens are lined up, and my hundreds. Okay, so what did we have? And we always start in the ones. We had 8 ones. When we took away 7 of them, we only had 1 left. We had 5 tens. When we took away 3 of them, we had 2 of them left. We had 5 hundreds. We took away 1 of them, and we have 4 left. So our difference, or answer, or solution is 421. Okay, boys and girls, you're going to continue practicing these by yourself and with your teacher. Have a wonderful day.